Let's jump right into the breaking news. Today, we're going to talk about why the new international shipping rules are taking effect today. The White House has ended the $800 duty-free de minimis exemption for all countries. That means if you were under the threshold of $800, you weren't going to get schwacked with the tariffs and the fees and stuff like that. It now requires a formal customs entry, and you have to pay any applicable duties or fees. Do books get tariffs then? Well, generally, printed books are still duty-free. You can still see some brokerage or entry fees. Paperwork, it didn't apply under de minimis. So you need to really research your shipping avenues and see where you're going to be sending books, especially if you're doing Kickstarters and stuff and you're fulfilling internationally. You really need to take a look and do your research before you start so that you don't get blindsided and suddenly your budget is blown out of proportion on your Kickstarter, because if you don't charge the appropriate shipping, that's gonna hurt.
So the biggest impact of this is actually getting books into the United States from other countries. So let me explain how this de minimis rule works. This is the end of the world for Temu and Wish.com. So if you've ever wondered why you can order something from China for $2.99 and it gets delivered, it's because they're taking advantage of this de minimis exception, where very small items don't have to pay a duty and don't have to file any paperwork to speak of, because it's not worth it. Anything under $800, we don't have to bother with. Well, Temu completely broke the de minimis system, which was meant for sending a birthday present to your friend in another country. It wasn't meant for running an entire e-commerce empire that doesn't have to pay any duties or have anything checked. And the biggest impact of this is on BookFunnel users. So if you're a BookFunnel user, you probably got an email from BookFunnel that some of the avenues in which they are shipping you books are currently not available. So right now, if you're with BookFunnel, you have to use FedEx or Consolidated Services. It will likely expand back to all of the options will be back on the table in the future, because while the de minimis exception no longer applies to authors, the books are duty-free exception does. So we don't actually have to pay additional taxes because of this rule, but we will have to file additional paperwork. So keep this in mind. It's not a huge deal. If you're indie published and you're using print on demand, this doesn't impact you at all, because books are printed in the countries in which they are consumed almost exclusively. So if somebody buys your book in Canada, the book is actually printed in Canada and shipped from Canada. Same with UK, same with Australia. And so there's actually one area where indie authors have a real advantage. But where it gets complicated is, let's say you're using Book Vault to fulfill your Kickstarter campaign, and Book Vault is mailing individual books to all of your Kickstarter backers. Suddenly you may have to pay for FedEx instead of the United States Postal Service. So this isn't a huge deal, but it is for certain people. And I saw at least one person in the chat who is fulfilling Book Vault through Kickstarter, and this may be the most important news story for that particular person.
Oh no!
So, and you may find that your Wish.com prices went up. It's interesting, my wife was looking for a book to buy for our kids. She couldn't find it cheap in the States, but she found a copy for like $5 in the UK, and it had really cheap shipping. And it was last night. And I was like, place your order now. It's going to be more expensive tomorrow. So
there is a lively discussion in our chat right now about why we're not wearing kilts. And so, first of all, for all of you, like, I had a terrible night last night. I was actually going to do makeup for this episode. I was going to be in full woad, shirtless, and you know, I'd find like a kilt or something somewhere.
This is proof that there is divine providence that saved us from this. God,
the Lord has
the Lord has
spoken and stepped in. He's like, I don't want to see that. You're not gonna. So he is taking care of
the thunder. The thunder agrees.